going to show you how to clean the endoscope. So you want to start by taking this cap here, this round cap that lives right here, and capping this end off. This is the end that connects to the white box that actually uses the endoscope. And then for the buttons, you've got the blue and the red button. You want to take those out, they pop right out. And you're going to put them down wherever you're going to wash it. And you have this cap. There are several different ones. These caps, they live either in the box with this or in the box with like the endoscope motor. And it only fits one way. And you want to pull it back and slide it on and make sure it locks and is secure. And then it's got this on the end of it. This goes right here. You will need that to be on there for the first part of the endoscope. You want to start with some lukewarm water, and this can be any type of water to start with for this first process. While that's filling up, you just want to be super careful that you're not hitting the end of this off of the sink or on the ground. This is the most fragile part of the endoscope, so you want to make sure you're being very careful with it. And this part, from here up, you also don't want to get wet. So you're only washing the part that's actually inside the animal. And this is our 3-meter scope, so it was used for horses, so it's extra long. So you're going to put it in the water. Make sure that piece is not dinging everywhere. And we want to get all this out of here because water is going to come out of all pieces. On the floor. Any water running? Alright, now we have enough water that it's covering the end of this hose. You want to add some chlorhexidine solution in here. You always want to add your chlorhex solution in after you fill the tub with water, or else it's just going to look like a really big bubble bath. Just enough to kind of turn it a faint blue color. And then you want to make sure all of the hose, the endoscope hose that has numbers on it, needs to be washed. So I'm going to make sure this stays up here. I'm going to just take a sponge, and you can see the outside of this has got some residue on it. So this has probably been going down a horse's esophagus. So you just want to make sure you get all that dirt and debris off. And being extremely careful with the end of it. Alright, and leave it some time to soak. And then we have this piece here. We have 2 of these, one for the large scope, one for the small scope. It doesn't matter which one you grab. These are kept either hanging up in the X-ray developer room with the scopes or in the box with the scopes. So you take the green part of this and hook it to what looks like the little Christmas tree part here. And this part is just going to go down in your water. And then you're going to hook a syringe here. And it will leak. That's the importance of the caps, is that you aren't spraying water out of them, but it will leak a little bit of water from some places, which is normal. So you're going to suck water up into it. And then when you push it back out, let me get some extra water. My water's quite deep enough over here. So when you push water through it, you'll see it bubble out the end of the endoscope here. And you want to do that 3 or 4 times just to make sure you get any residue out of the inside of the endoscope. And as you can see, the stuff coming out of there, that's, you know, if we didn't wash that, that's just going to sit inside this endoscope, and, you know, we don't want that for the next patient. We don't want that to sit in there and corrode the endoscope. Alright, so after I do that a few times, I'm going to take my cleaner pieces. So these are usually in with the like the modem of the endoscope. There's two different sized ones in here, one for the large one and one for the small one. Obviously the large one's a lot bigger. Tape these together so they wouldn't be everywhere. I can't get it untaped. Alright, and so this has a little brush on the end of it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this piece that you had originally put on there off, opening that, and then you're just going to feed this through, and you kind of want to do it in a back and forth motion, so you're cleaning as you do it. You want to clean up all that leftover, food and things like that that have come up in the endoscope. You have to think too, we use this endoscope to take biopsies and stuff, and those biopsies are coming back through the inside here, just where this is going. So you want to make sure you get all that residue and things out, so we're not keeping things in there or transferring it from animal to animal. And this one is 3 meters, so it's extremely long. And you'll eventually see it come out where those little bubbles are coming. Eventually. Struggling. All right. That left is gonna come soon. Alright, so you see it came out. It's got the stuff on the end of it, so that was all up left in the endoscope. So we're just going to clean the end of this off, and we're going to send it back through a couple times just to get all that residue off there. Make sure the endoscope is nice and clean. Alright, so that one looks a lot better. So I think we've got it pretty well clean in there. So we're going to go ahead and take this off. I'm just going to roll it back up as I take it out so it's not everywhere. And then you can just soak this off in some soapy water or some Chlorhex as well, just so it stays clean too. Now we're going to drain this chlorhexidine solution that we have in here. While we're draining that, I'm going to grab some distilled water. Now rinse out this tub. As you can see, we've got some stuff left over from the nastiness that came out inside. Make sure we get all that out of there. right, and then we're going to, I kind of do a rinse. I'm gonna pour the distilled water kind of just over the whole endoscope just to get any Chlorhex left off of it. It's not super bubbly, so it's probably pretty good. And then we're gonna fill it back up with distilled water. Grab another thing so it's a little thicker. How's video go? All right. All right, now you're gonna flush the distilled water through just like you did with the Chlorhex solution. You can pull it up through here. It's a little faster sometimes just to pull it up through the syringe. Make sure you cap this off. I did not remember to cap it back off, so all my water was just coming right out of there. And then you'll see the bubbles come out. You just want to do that a couple times. Now that we've got it clean with the Chlorhex, you just want to make sure that Chlorhex isn't sitting in there. It can be a little harsh on the endoscope, so. And then so the buttons in here, you just want to kind of rinse them off. And then I also have this water holder in here. So this holds distilled water. It doesn't really get dirty because it doesn't come in contact with the patient at all. And so this kind of just needs to be rinsed out and set out to dry. It's important though, this has a rubber ring in here that will sometimes come out. And if the rubber ring does not get put back in, it will not work. So this rubber ring, you need to make sure it always goes back in before it's used, or you will not be able to use water. It's really frustrating when the doctor gets out there to scope something and they don't have any water. So now that you're done with all this, you're gonna let your water out. You're gonna take all the buttons and things off of here. You're gonna set the water things out, usually on the mat over by the instruments to dry, and then the endoscope gets hung in the X-ray developer room to dry. Just be extremely careful with the end of it. Make sure, you know, sometimes with this bigger scope, it'll take a couple people to get it in there so it doesn't hit the floor. That's how you clean the endoscope. Stop.